Hi, I'm Phil Rude, and this is my 100 days of making comics, days 34 through 38. First off, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Michael Hayes, who guested on my last video and shared his experience with pulling the plug on a project, which is never an easy thing to do and is not necessarily an easy thing to talk about. So big shout out to Michael for sharing with us, and I really appreciate that. Today I want to mostly just give an update of what I've been doing. I've spent the last week or so scanning in the rest of my pages and getting the Photoshop files put together. Usually this is something I do as I go along. But in this case, I they just started piling up. I got more into drawing and trying to finish up the story I was working on and started thumbnailing a lot of things. And then just some random life events kept cropping up. So I'd be like, just throw it on the scanner. I'll get to it later. And so I finally did. This is by far my least favorite part of the whole process. It sort of seems mechanical to me. It's a little boring. I don't really enjoy staring at screens for extended periods of time, despite the fact that I have my phone hovering right in front of my face right now. It's not a huge it's not a huge part of what I enjoy about drawing and making comics. So it is a little bit of a chore for me to do all of what I call the post-production work on a comic. Once everything is drawn and I have to go in and edit, scan everything and edit it to make it look right. And then I have to do the lettering, which is the other big part of what I've done over the past few days. Lettering is something that, again, I don't enjoy it as much, partly because it is in the computer and it leads to me staring at a screen. I can get into more of, why I try not to stare at screens and why I still draw traditionally in a later video. But it's just, I spent most of my day yesterday finishing lettering and then prepping files to go to Webtoon. And it ended up being a few hours on the computer, and which is more than I generally spend sitting in front of the screen. And it really just sort of took a toll on my eyes and wore me out a little bit. So it's not really something I enjoy a whole lot, but it is something that had to be done. So it got done. Lettering is something I also kind of struggle with. Doing partly because I don't think I'm very good at it. Anyone who really thinks that lettering is easy and it's just slapping word balloons in there, I have huge respect for letterers in comics because it is a very specific skill set and people spend a lot of years getting really good at it, and I am not one of those people. I feel like most of what I do, and you can see in this video footage of me doing it, most of what I do is, I'm going to be generous to myself and say passable, but I wouldn't necessarily call it good lettering or outstanding. Nothing stands out about it. It is something that, as I am doing more and more pages and getting more and more work done on this comic and in these 100 days, I hope that I get better at. This is a lot of the comic that I'm working on, and a lot of the point of this challenge is to take some of these things that I'm fairly good at and get better at them, and take some things that I'm bad at and get good at them. I'm trying to level up on all fronts: writing, lettering, and drawing. All of these things are sort of necessary in making your own comics, and in doing more pages, it becomes clearer where I'm falling short and where I need to work. And that's helpful in getting the work done. I feel like I'm starting to talk in a circle about all this stuff. And I feel like I'm also sort of doing something that could be considered fishing for compliments and saying, "Oh, I'm not very good at lettering. Someone please tell me." No, you're good at lettering. It's not what I'm doing. I understand that I do passable enough work. It could be much better, though. But I'm going to break out of this loop and talk about my new comic. The thing that I have been drawing and working on in these past few videos is a 17-page story about Professor Whiskers and Gil going out to investigate strange happenings on a farm. It's called Down on the Farm, and it is live now on Webtoon, on the Line Webtoon app, as episode 2 of that series. So I was very happy to, like I said, not happy to be sitting in front of the computer for all those hours over this past few days, but I was very happy last night when I finalized the last file for taking that episode live and was able to upload it early this morning and put it out into the world. It's always fun and always a great feeling when you actually wrap up a project and release it into the wild. I'm always a little bit nervous about it, but I've actually gotten much better about just sort of leaning in and enjoying that. At some point, I will probably talk about the first project I did and released into the world and the bundle of nerves that came with that. But right now, I just want to revel in the fact that there is a new episode of The Adventures of Professor Whiskers on Webtoon. I will put a link in the description if you want to check out my series. Also, I am going to invite you to let me know how your 100 Days Challenge is going. Let me know what you think about lettering and digital work in comics in general. Do you enjoy it? Are you like me, where your eyes are old and don't enjoy staring at the screen very much? Or do you really enjoy the post-production and layout work? Is that really something that is your jam? Let me know. Drop it in the comments and let me know any other thoughts you may have on this. In the meantime, please read my comic, tell a friend, and thanks for checking out this video. I will talk to you guys later.